tell you, people raising chickens in their own backyard has so many benefits, it's hard to enumerate them. One is certainly they are the #1 recycler. They can take your kitchen scraps and turn them into eggs. A dog, a cat, a parakeet, a gerbil, a boa constrictor doesn't do that. Secondly, they're great role models for kids. Chickens get up early in the morning, they go to bed early at night, and they work all day, and they don't complain about anything. So they're great role models for kids. I mean, a cat and dog, they just lie around all day, right? We want our kids to get up in the morning and go to bed at night and not prowl the streets. So, there's a lot of benefits for chickens in the backyard.
Timothy Hartless, Staunton's city planner, was quoted in the News Leader as saying, "Our office's position is that chickens are not appropriate in an urban environment. Our goal is to protect property values, quality of life, and public health in the city, and those are all endangered because chickens are farm animals. Are chickens really a threat to all of those things?"
What could be more beneficial in an urban setting than an integrated food supply? See, we have right now a very segregated food system. And if we're going to have a segregated system, we're going to have a lot of ignorance, paranoia, concern, and a lack of security. But if we have an integrated system, then suddenly we have food security, we have opportunity, and we have an information-based populace as opposed to an ignorance-based populace. And that's a really good thing. As far as disease is concerned, and if you're actually interested in the health and well-being of your community, what you want your community to eat is really, really good food. Backyard chickens produce a lot more nutritious eggs than what's in the supermarket. So from a health standpoint for a community, we need to be promoting the most nutritious eggs, not the most factory-based eggs.
We know roosters can be noisy. What about hens? What is your experience with the frequency, duration, and noise level of a hen versus a dog?
Well, I've been kept up awake many more nights by a barking dog than a sleeping chicken. And actually, chickens go to bed really early. They don't prowl around at night and bark and cause noise. So hens are quite soft-spoken, and goodness, there's a lot more noise from crying children, barking dogs, and screeching owls and parakeets than there are from chickens.
Can you tell us how many chickens are behind you right now?
There's about 1,000 chickens behind us right now.
There are cities in Europe that give away chickens to residents in order to help them reduce household waste that would otherwise end up in already overflowing landfills. Do you find that chickens help reduce household waste?
There is nothing, not a pig, not a dog, not anything that is more excited about stuff that you don't want to eat on your table, whether it's scraps, peelings, waste, food, whatever, than a chicken. A chicken is the ultimate recycler, and the beauty of a chicken is that if it's a laying hen, they actually put one more barrier between the food and what you're eating. So the food scrap goes into the chicken then turns that into an egg, as opposed to, example, for a pig, which eats it and then you eat the pig. So there's one more biological hurdle of separation, if you will, between the food scrap and what you're actually eating, which is a really great thing.
What type of pests will chickens help eliminate?
Oh, chickens can help eliminate all sorts of bugs and critters, ticks. On our farm, we just never find a tick because we have chickens running around. So chickens are birds are the ultimate insecticide pesticide.
You've said that raising backyard hens encourages people to eat local. Why is that?
Well, when you have an integrated kind of indigenous food production system, people tend to participate. And I think this notion that we segregate our food system, so we have the chickens over here, the people over here, the burger joints over here, and the shoe stores over here, is an ultimately non-transparent and segregation-based kind of system. And so when you have an integrated system, people can participate in the game. You can play in the game. You know, that's the fun part of this. And when you participate in the game, then of course you're going to eat the local food. You're going to be connected to it, and you're going to have a sense of its benefit to you, because you're part of the caretaking of the whole the ecological womb in which we're immersed. You're a part of that.
We see the passage of this law as an important, fun opportunity for children in Staunton to raise chickens. Why do you think it's important for children to get involved in raising their own food?
You know, we live in a time when too many children grow up only being, wiggling their thumbs, playing video games in a world of fantasy, in a virtual world. You know, if you're playing a video game and your icon crashes or dies or breaks or whatever, you wait 5 seconds and the game gives you a new car, a new, armor, a new whatever, all right? Life isn't like that. And I think it encourages children to grow up with a very arrogant spirit of pride and hubris toward our ecological umbilical, and that if we actually want our children to grow up with a deep sense of awe and appreciation for the mystery and the provision of this abundant creation, we need to encourage them to get their hands in the dirt in a garden, to grow a tomato, to have a couple of backyard animals. The game is for all the marbles. You know, if the chicken dies because you didn't give it feed and water, you don't wait 5 seconds and life gives you a new chicken. And understanding that wonderful, mystical, awesome sufficiency and abundance of life, death, degeneration, regeneration, life, death, the compost cycle, if you will. I mean, we need to get our hands in that, and it really fundamentally changes the commonsensical way a person grows into adulthood by whether they've participated viscerally in that ecological umbilical or not.
What are some of the greater common benefits of residents raising chickens?
Common benefits of raising chickens are, number one, you reduce your your compostable garbage load to the landfill. That's a really good thing. Number two is you eat better. Number three is you have a visceral participation in the ecology, in the food. You can do something. You don't feel, like you're a liability on the landscape. You feel like you're an asset on the landscape, and that's good, and to appreciate that. And number four, I'll stay by, that a chicken is probably the best child role model in the world. They get up early, they work all day without complaining for very little pay, and they go to bed at night and don't prowl the streets, and they're just extremely content. And so I think they're a great role model for kids.
Can you speak a little bit about the concern that some people have about chickens smelling?
As much as I'm a fan of backyard chickens and domestic, fowl husbandry, the fact is, yes, for every positive or for all the positive, yes, there are those few people that are not going to take care of things. I mean, we see that every day. Somebody, has a house full of 50 cats and they have to be shut down by somebody. Or everybody knows someone who doesn't take care of things. I mean, goodness, I know people who don't take care of their children, I know people who don't take care of themselves. I see somebody guzzling, 10 sodas a day, smoking and drinking and eating nacho potato chips and eating their diet out of the filling station, that's not taking care of yourself. So there's always going to be some aberrant behavioral person that doesn't take care of themselves or their things, all right? And that happens. But we don't eliminate humans, we don't eliminate pets, we don't eliminate teachers because there's a bad egg in the group. No pun intended. Pun fully intended, actually. So yes, there are things, but risk. Think about we know that there will be 50 children drown in backyard swimming pools this year. We know that it happens every year. 50 children, tragic, drown in backyard swimming pools. Do we outlaw backyard swimming pools? No. Just because accidents or aberrant or negligence or whatever happens, the benefit outweighs the risk. And the fact is, we measure benefit risk all the time. And what I'm suggesting is, yeah, there will be a smelly backyard once in a while. But you know what? Get ready for life. I mean, there are things that happen that we don't like. You know, whether it's the way a family member treats a child or whatever, we can always find things that we don't like. And so I think it's pretty elitist to deny people a participatory, visceral ability to play the game of food on the basis of, well, there might be 1 or 2 in 1,000 that don't do it well. That's an incredibly myopic and elitist way to look at a true integrated food system.